right, we're back from Brazil, both of us.
All of us.
In one piece.
Oh yeah.
I
Thank
slept
God.
I slept last night. You not so much, right? But
I just got here. Just like literally jumped off the plane. Very tired. I had like a couple of like emergency things to do, but I'm ready to go to bed early today, man. I'm really tired.
25 years, Draculino team. 25 years. Guys, kids, right? Like we're teenagers. We have our own kids now. Like crazy. You were a young man. Your kids were just little kids too when I first met you, and now
Yeah.
they're adults, and it's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's I think our lives are so busy that sometimes you don't have even the time to step back a little bit and look at the big picture and look like of what went down. Man, that's unbelievable. Like I'm like truly blessed by God and by the people who surrounded me, my family, you guys, like all the jiu-jitsu community, my master, everybody, man. It's amazing. Like I came back from this trip thinking differently. Honestly, it was like a lifetime trip for me. Honestly,
Yeah, me too. And what's crazy is it wasn't planned for me. I just had an
yeah,
instinct to go, and then Tim also went. Tim
yeah.
went down at the same time, not planned. And then the 25-year anniversary. So it's funny how things work, huh? Like that.
I truly believe it was meant to be, Al. I truly believe that whatever you want to believe it, if it's God, some people believe it's God in a certain way that they relate to God. Some other people think it's energy. Some other people think it's just alignment of a lot of things. I truly believe that, in my opinion, that's like God's plan. I mean, I really think that this was supposed to happen the way it did. And nothing that happened wouldn't be, there was the perfect scenario for me, man. I wouldn't change one bit of what went down. And during all these years, and especially this weekend, man, this weekend was magical. I wish like people could be there to feel it, right? You were there.
Right.
And I'm glad that you were there, man. I mean, you were coming back a little bit before I went down. Say, man, I called you. Remember? I
Yeah,
called
yeah,
and said, man, bro, don't leave, man. Like, change your ticket.
yeah.
I'm coming. It's gonna be special. And you're like the soldier that you always were. Just like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm changing right now.
It's done.
And then, man, like. I think it was 100% worth it, bro. And I thank you for that.
Or no, of course. The once the master says it's done deal. So I'm so happy I was able to.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
how did it start? Like just going back, like you're from Rio,
Yeah.
and your wife is from Belo Horizonte.
Yes, she was born in Belo, but she moved from Belo to Rio when she was really young. Monica's mom, Alice, she always worked for Petrobras. Petrobras is the biggest Brazilian oil company. She had like a career there. She had like, I think she worked there for like over 30 years. And then they moved to Rio. At the same time, she got a divorce from Monica's father, Osiris, that actually, unfortunately, really recently passed away.
Oh,
So she went really young. She moved out of Belo really young. They went to Rio, and then they went to Manaus,
wow.
and then they came back to Rio. I didn't even know when I met Monica that Monica was from Belo Horizonte. Took me a little bit of time because her accent was like typical Carioca accent. I
Yeah.
had no idea. So once we find out, I started to date her in 1992. And once we found out, it was normal that I would go to Belo Horizonte to visit, to see, her dad and family. She has two stepsisters that always lived in Belo Horizonte as well.
Hmm.
And man, I fell in love with the city. I always had the dream of change my life a little bit, of changing airs. And man, when I went there and I analyzed a little bit the whole scenario, I was like, man, I think there's something really good to be happening here. It took a little time. I had to graduate in law.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, but I'm a lawyer. I graduated in law in Rio in 1995, the same year that I got my black belt. I got my black belt before I got my law degree. But and then, man, it was decided, like with the both degrees, the black belt and the law degree, I decided to go to the route of jiu-jitsu. and I came to Belo Horizonte October 1995, exactly 25 years ago.
Wow. October.
Exactly this month. We celebrated exactly. We didn't even pass the time of the month. It was exactly 25 years, man. It's a lifetime. So that's how it all started. You were there, on the humble beginnings. You were there like very early on, and then man, you're a witness of everything that went down.
Yeah, because I went to Rio first, remember, and then I met you, and I just have these early. I mean, you were how old were you? 24 at the time?
When I was 24. Yeah,
24. You were a young guy, and I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But I just remember you hanging out like in this, like kind of not in the street, but kind of like with the guys on the street, just like one of the guys, and wow, it's amazing. We've all grown up, I feel like,
for sure.
But just the Versa Academy, just the small little group, but you gave your heart and soul. You gave your heart and soul to us to have us be our best, and not just on the mats, but in life, right? To be good people.
I think I 100%, man. Like, I think that with me was kind of reversed a little bit on how I live my life, because I got married really young, and I had Jade, my daughter, when I was 22. I wasn't even 23 yet.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, she was born in 1994, but she was born in June. And then on July, I turned 23. And then Monica was 20, So 21 actually. So, man, I started really young. I had to kind of like mature myself, put wear the boots of like a leader by the example. Of course, I was really young. I wanted to do what young people do. And I did it, in a certain way. But at the same time, I think it worked out so well because I incorporated what I needed to be at the time, a leader, So I started to say, guys, hard training, clean diet, stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, have your fun, but with responsibility, be brave, but be humble. So I think I always like had to be like very disciplined, and I always was since then. Actually, before then, I'm being like that for a long time. And now that I'm retired, man, I'm starting to kind of do the other way. My kids are grown up. They are already like with their lives, thank God, like doing great, both of them, Igor and Jade. I'm being married for like almost 30 years now. So I'm kind of like starting to get a new phase of life that will be as important, but I'm kind of like getting on the shoes of supervising things, I'm advising things, and enjoy my life in a little more, how can I say, relaxed way, I think with me it was kind of the opposite, I started really, really like, focus and kind of like old man. And now I'm kind of like, I wanted to be back to my teenage years a little bit in a certain way, of course, because, we have the limitations, but I think it was needed, man, and it worked out. And I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad I didn't succumb to the easy life, on like going crazy and get a divorce and go chase girls and use drugs and drink and be buddies with the guys, like going out. I was always really good friends. We're always really good friends, but I always kept myself a little bit in a distance to make sure that you guys never got a little confused on that. And I think it worked, but now it changed. Now we're all brothers. We're kind of like, the age doesn't mean too much anymore. The older you get, like, so
you're still the boss. You're the master. But we can have a drink together.
For sure. Man, like, remember like on the barbecues that we used to have every year, I would never touch a drink. I never touched a drink in front of you guys in very, very rare occasions. Very. Yeah. Now I go, I have my drink, I have my fun. We talked. I mean, like, I'm already pretty much retired from fighting and competition, and we all like are mature now. We all we're grown ups, and we all have our, how can I say, our persona already done. There's nothing to change. We won't change at this point. We're always going to be like that forever. So, it's always phases, so I'm glad.
One of the things for me, like as a young guy, like, you were always professional. You always showed up on time. You always said, if you said you're going to do something, you did it. and you expected the same from us, you know. So I think
Yes.
you set the example, like speaking of leadership, you know, to always do what you say you're going to do, you know, being professional, showing up on time, doing everything the right way, you know.
Yeah. I got a lot of really good influences. I'm really, really, really lucky, you know, of course, from home, you know, like the biggest influences you have is from home. My mom and my dad were always like super hard workers, super honest people. People, like you said, that they said they would do it, they would do it. They said they wouldn't do it, they wouldn't do it. You know, also like in the jiu-jitsu circles, I had a really good mentor as my master Carlos Gracie Jr., who is like always a visionary too, who's always like one of the most disciplined people I ever met. And still today, it's amazing how disciplined he is in like pretty much all fields of life, you know. So I really had like really good examples. And actually now I have examples from you guys, you know, even from the people that came under me, man. I have like a lot of great examples by you guys, and you one of them, you know. I mean, your example also of dedication, of discipline, of hard work, on warrior spirit, man. Like, I mean, like, I'm really glad and proud to see you guys and others, you know, like several others that we know that inspire me today a lot. I use X as an example and everything. So it's amazing, man. It's a blessing. I'm really, truly happy. I'm truly happy. I'm tired here, but I'm truly happy. My soul is like really, how can I explain? I have my soul kind of light and relieved. Fulfilled. That's the word, fulfilled. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I saw a Facebook post you did, you know, if you died, not that we want to die, you know, but if you died today, you felt like you gave everything you had. And I mean, it's
100%.
crazy when I look Brazil, Europe, all the places that you've touched, you know, what it's done for them and for their lives. Yeah. And their communities, right? Because when one person spreads it like a not like a wildfire, but like a wildfire, right? It spreads it.
For sure. And I truly mean it now. I really do. I was always a guy who I was never too afraid of dying, honestly. I mean, I think if I die today, I would die happy, you know. I mean, I'm way more worried about other people than myself.
Yeah.
And I think that at this point, even though I'm still young, I mean, I'm about to be 50, but I'm still young and I still want to live and do a lot of things in my life. Man, if God took me today, I'll be happy. I'll really be happy. I wouldn't have any regrets. I wouldn't have any you know, traumas. I wouldn't have any nothing, man. I think I lived the life that I wanted to live. I think I did what I was supposed to do, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah, that's it. I feel the same, but it was, I always go back in time because it was your influence, you having to be responsible with your family. I think I was attracted to that, the professionalism, maybe me being American, you know, because it was the real deal. You expected the best from us, but you also, more importantly, you not more importantly, but you led that way by example.
Yeah. I'm glad I did it. I did it spontaneously, Al, honestly. It wasn't like a huge effort. Of course, I mean, like I said, the discipline is a hard thing. You know that, you know, there's always knocking on our door for you to just like, you know, screw it, whatever. But I'm really glad, and it happened very organically, honestly. It was never like a something that was like so hard to do, and I was like I hated to do, and never, man. It was always great. I'm always grateful to everybody, to God, of course, to do what I do, because I do what I love. And it's very hard to do this nowadays, right? How many people don't do what they love because they need to? So I'm not one of those cases, thank God, you know.
Yeah, early morning classes. I remember going with Sururu and training with Pepozo in the morning.
Yeah,
and,
you know, Flavon, remember Big Flavon?
yeah. And all the guys, and I would, you know, made the middle of the day training and then nighttime training. I was there, like I would always overtrain. I would be there, but you were there, you know, every single class, always professional, always like a clean gi, always just everything like just a true professional, you know. And that was that, not that that's rare in those days, but it kind of was, you know, because it was Fight Club.
You're right. It was. It wasn't the norm. That's for sure. Of course, there were people who always did that. I'm not gonna name it because people I don't know. but it wasn't the norm. You're 100% right. And I'm glad that I had the vision, and I had like the examples to know the route, and I think it worked out.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah. So how did it make you feel after all these years? Like when you look at we did it, like we had a mini graduation because of COVID, but how did it feel to see like a Cheech, for example, like and you promoting some of these guys after all these years and seeing just the faces, right? How did it feel to see these guys?
Man, like I think the highlight of the ceremony. I mean, like I said, it was a smaller ceremony, like it normally is because of COVID and all that. Even though it was pretty crowded,
Oh yeah,
like for the space. I think the highlight of the moment, like of course the black belts, the new black belts. The black belt is like a huge thing for all of us, and for any martial artist. But the highlight of the event was like yours, Chichi's, and Vinicius Validi's, Vinicius Antunes' 5th degree graduation. You got it already before because you and Validi got it before. So because of COVID, we did kind of like an online thing, which was great. But I was really happy to be there and doing in-person review as well, and also, of course, also for the guys. Man, like a 5th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a very hard thing to do, man. You guys are on a caste that very few people in the world belong to. That's the truth. You know what I mean? And I say this in a real way because you guys are doing the real deal. I'm not saying the people who created their own system and they do it because we don't care about IBJJF or have my own thing. Oh, my style is different, whatever. Man, we can actually lie down in bed at night knowing that we did the right way, knowing that we did the right way and the hard way. You know what I mean? And man, like this is priceless.
Yeah.
It's a very, people don't understand it. People that maybe they listen to this, they'll train jiu-jitsu. They don't understand how tough that can be, for you to be disciplined enough all this year in an art, or either teaching or competing or refereeing or contributing somehow all these years. Man, it's a huge deal. I don't agree with people that simply stop everything in jiu-jitsu and now all of a sudden, just because back in the day they trained, they now have like all this degrees and all this, even coral belts or another belts or whatever. I really think that this shouldn't be the case. I think if we need to be active, and you guys are 100% active. Validi always training. He has his job now doing great, but he's always trained, always was involved. Chichi is a professional like yourself. You guys live and breathe jiu-jitsu martial arts every single day of your life. So, very deserved, and congratulations for you guys again.
It's because thanks to you. Thanks to your work. What did let's speak about some of the guys like a Cheech and even like Sururu and Valij, of course, how were they important? What were some of the important guys in the beginning of this big I was called like an empire, in a way, because of how it spread.
Yeah.
Belo Horizonte, and how many black belts have there been now out of Belo Horizonte from
brother? Honestly, I lost track a long time ago, but I can easily say, because I looked at Paulista's database. Edgar Paulista, one of our black belts, has a database from the black belts that started since back then, in 2000 was the first one. Peposo and Alexandre Albuquerque and Peposo were the first ones. And since then, now, directly under me or directly under you guys, my students, we have over 1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
Black belts.
Wow.
1,500.
Wow.
And I think it's more because I know that some names probably slipped, but the ones that are documented, the documented ones, the ones that we have track, 1,500.
Because I think of the black belts of our black belts, so that's like, it's got to be in the thousands, maybe even, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I believe an accurate estimate, Al, should be like on the 2000s. I really do. I'm using the 1,500 because those are the ones that we have kind of like on a disc or on a paper or whatever you want to call it. So And this was because of you guys at the beginning. You guys, you are a member of the first generation of Gracie Barra BH of students, you know, like we had several, as you know. And we still having new now, you know. I mean, you trained there, you saw there's a lot of new blood coming up.
Yeah.
From the headquarters and also from the students of our students. But you guys there set the tone. I was really blessed because right off the bat, I got you guys. You guys were like a really tough combination to beat because you guys were tough. You guys are like mentally tough, first of all. You guys are physically tough. You guys are dedicated. You guys are technical because, you know, leaving humility aside, I had a really good technical school of jiu-jitsu that I was able to transmit to you guys, you know, and you guys were eager, you know, you guys were eager to conquer something, to do something, to live the lifestyle, to leave your mark on the sport. And you guys, man, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to forget names, but you know, some of the original guys that everybody knows, like yourself, Chichi, Sururu, Rapuru, Eric Vanderlei, you know, Valide, and Gazi, you know, like Duroc, Duroc, everybody. Like I'm pretty sure I forgot somebody. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Ivanzinho, Danilo, porra, Danilo can never be forgotten, you know, and all these guys. Those you guys like set the tone, man. You know, you guys set the tone, and everybody that came after you guys are already like with inspiration, not just me. But you guys are got inspired by me. And of course, you know, from Master College Gracie Jr., from everybody who was in the Gracie Barra, you know, Hanzo, you know, like Ricardo Americano, all the guys that came before us a little bit, you know, Gordo and all that. But you guys set the really high tone, you know, like all the kids that came behind you guys, man, they were like, man, you know, those guys are like the toughest guys around. We need to kind of like be up there. We need to be inspired. And sure enough, you know, like it happened to me. They actually got better than us, right? I mean, like some of them, they got better than us, you know, and which is the case. That's what we want. Yeah. And it's just an avalanche since then, you know. We are all over the world now, like you said. Every single continent of the world, we have one of us there. And I'm really glad.
Yeah, I think Valide, you know, he was one of the first generation. I was good friends with him, and he came to stay with me in New Mexico.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that was the first time that you did like a seminar in the U.S., right?
It was. You Professor Leo Cantu in Texas, and with our good friend Amal, you know, that actually was like he's one of your best friends. If you guys listening don't know that, like Professor Amal Easton is one of Professor Albert's best friends, a great guy, great martial artist that I've been knowing also for a long time as well. You know, actually more than 25 years. Yeah. And it was the first times I could teach a seminar in the United States. It was the beginning of something huge. And I'm really, you know, thankful for you guys to open that door for me back in, man, I think it was 2000, 2001 or something like that. It was a while ago.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I have the picture of your first seminar. I printed it and I have it hanging in my gym.
I know, I saw it, man. I saw a lot of the guys there. It was really cool to see, man.
We have like
you know,
4 guys.
Send it to me, Send it to me. Okay. I want to keep it. You know, I want to keep it like on my phone or something. Send it to me, please.
Yeah. Let's talk about Valide, and I want to talk, and there's so many guys we can talk about, right? But I think guys that I spend a lot of time with, Valide, you know, he's working in São Paulo now, another city.
Yeah.
What did he mean? How did he help? You know, what are the memories you have of how he supported you? I know it's a long time.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were there every day. He locked his or stopped his college so he could train full time and compete full time. He's a very smart guy, but he put it on hold so he could really commit full time to our team, you know, to the training and everything, to being his
absolutely best. Just to start, just a little parenthesis. His name is not Valide. We call him Valide because he kind of resemble a little bit of jiu-jitsu fighter Walid Ismail, but his real name is Vinicius, like my name. Like we have the same name. His name is Vinicius Antunes. And man, like and everybody calls him Vinny, right? Like when he moved with you to the US, everybody, Vinny. Like that's how people call me here in the US as well, Vinny, like people from out of jiu-jitsu circles. So man, like he was always like, he is a really great friend of mine personally too. His wife and his kids are really close to my family as well. Valide was always really close to me as a person, always going to my house. And, you know, we really got a really strong bond. And he's, like you said, he's a really smart guy, very intelligent man, very hard worker, a very humble guy, a very helpful guy. And man, like you said, he pretty much put everything on hold to be good in jiu-jitsu. Man, as you remember, man, he had really good matches against some of the best in history, right?
Yeah.
Man, Xande Ribeiro, the Bastos brothers, who else? Man, like Jeff Monson, man, like a lot of other people. Like
after gambling all night in Vegas.
Yeah, that's a good story. I remember that you guys told me. I wasn't there, but you guys told me, man. It's amazing. And man, like he went all the way through the black belt, competed in the highest level of the black belt. I think he medaled on the worlds. I think I don't think I know that he won nationals, Brasileiros, as a black belt on the adult division. You know, like he got second place as a brown belt on the worlds. He won Pan Ams in all belts, I believe. And I just don't know if he won as a black belt, but he won in all belts. Man, he was a really, really tough competitor, very good teacher. A lot of people don't know, but he almost went through the jiu-jitsu route to be like a full-time teacher. He was that close, you know. But I think God works in perfect ways, man. He ended up going to work on one of the biggest companies in the world, not just in Brazil, called Gerdau, which is like a steel company that produces like steel and produces like a lot of like things on that matter. And he's really high there now. He went up the ranks really way faster than a normal people would be. And the funny thing that he sent me a message, you talking about him is funny because he sent me a message probably 3 days ago, thanking me, saying that without jiu-jitsu, without what we had, he would never achieve what we achieved, because he gave him confidence, enough confidence. He gave him enough like peace of mind and enough discipline to be able to conquer what he conquered. He's really young to be on the position that he is, Al. Like if you understand like the mechanics of that company, which is like a huge company. I mean, in Brazil, everybody knows, everybody wants to be there. It's like, you know, great pay. And besides that, there's like a great status. Man, he's really high in the hierarchy now. And he attributes a lot of that to jiu-jitsu, which is amazing, you know. So
yeah, it's amazing.
And he still trains, guys. He still trains. Oh, he never stopped.
Let's talk about Cheech. He was an important piece too for you. Like always there for you.
Chichi, man, Chichi's also actually really great.
Cristiano Lazzarini.
His nickname is Chichi, yeah. Man, Chichi's another one that's really close to me, like a really good friend of mine. We pretty much were together every single day during this trip. You know, when I arrived there on Wednesday, past Wednesday, and I left last night, he was there with me every single day, either going to the place that I was on the apartment of Bruno Villas Boas, Napolitano, Floriano, you know him, which is another old school great guy, 4th degree black belt. He got the 4th degree black belt also there. So Chichi lives pretty much next door. So he was there hanging out with me every day, all the time, you know. And he is like different than Valide. Chichi was the route that you took, that I took. He was like full in the martial art thing, you know, like fought professionally MMA like you did yourself too. A bunch of times, you know, won all the titles and all the belts like yourself, you know, always been teaching since, I don't even know when, but I mean, for a long, long time. And he still does it, you know, and Chichi comes from a really good family, a great family, a family with really good means, but he never wanted to have anything else from life. You know, had a bunch of chances and he worked a little bit of other stuff, but he never abandoned martial arts and jiu-jitsu as his first activity, his first priority as a professional, you know, and he's still doing it. And man, it's amazing how good of a shape he is still today, man. Chichi's a little younger than me. Chichi's not a young guy. Chichi probably I think Chichi's 47, and he's in an amazing shape.
Like a Benjamin Button, huh? He doesn't age.
He is like that, man. He is like Benjamin Button. Actually, Validi calls him like that, makes fun of him that he's Benjamin Button. And he still is, man, there, amazing. So, and about you, I already talked about you, but I always remember when you're really quiet kid, like you like way more communicative nowadays, of course, because I mean, we all get older, you get our skills, and you're a family man, and you're a leader of like, thousands of people. But you're a really shy kid, like a really, pretty much a teenager, right? Like that was really quiet, but really observant and really disciplined and really dedicated. And I remember when you decided to move to Belo, kind of like for good, not just to be kind of Rio Belo. You kind of like, no, okay, that's what I want to be. I took a special liking for you, not just because like, oh no, he's under me now, but I realized that you're really smart, because you noticed that back then we were already doing a little different. We were doing something a little different back in the day. Nothing against everything that went down anywhere else, of course, what happened in Gracie Barra brought me what I am today, all the time. But as a foreigner, you wanted to be a little different. So you kind of wanted to belong to like a more core group, not to be kind of like spaced out in the middle of a bunch of people. And man, and look what happened, like you are like by far one of the most successful American black belts. Old school, I would call old school. You are old school American black belts. Like these new guys, they don't know how tough it was, right, Al?
Yeah,
they don't know like how it was for you to come from like a first world country with like great means, with a great family, with all the comfort in the world, and to live like, I don't know, 5 years in Belo, struggling, sometimes broke, like we call in Brazil, like a root broke, which is really broke, and I never losing the focus on what he wanted, So man, like congratulations to you. It's not easy to see people doing what you did. That's the truth,
I went there as everybody. There's only white belts and blue belts. A couple of blue belts at the time, right?
Yes.
When I went, So my instinct was like, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Because almost instantly, I felt like a family. Like I was part of the family. Yeah. Almost instantly, Yeah. And I'm lucky that I was listening to my instincts, but I felt like this is where I need to be. And it was away from Rio de Janeiro, it was away from these Mecca places, Yeah. It was just you and a couple of the like beginner guys in a way.
Yeah.
But I had the instinct to so I'm really grateful. And it's really helped me make those same decisions now. I'm listening to my instinct,
Yeah, for sure.
Not like.
And I think everything, man, like we said in the beginning, everything is meant to be. It was meant to be for us to have this relationship. It was meant to be for us to have that group. It was meant to be that we are what we are at right now. It's all meant to be, I really believe that 100%. Man, like the energy that we have in that place, you don't see that kind of thing, man. Natural, like organic, like not forced. Nobody forced anything. It was just like something, man. You don't see a guy for like, I don't know, 15, 17 years. You see the guy, it looks like you were with the guy last night.
That's it.
Right?
We're all kids there. We're all kids, like teenagers in our early 20s, all together.
It's very easy in a good way, very easy, flows, it connects. And when you get older, you feel that. Yeah, and I felt that, like, I've been feeling, of course, but I felt that strongly than ever this time. I was like, man, we really did build something here. You know what I mean? We really did. We made it, man. We made it.
We made it. Man, I want to talk a few other key guys, like I hang out with a lot and guys that were very important. We talk about me moving to Belo Horizonte, and I didn't have a lot of money, especially when I first went there. The dollar was 1 to 1. Now it's like almost 6 to 1. So I was really poor, and I even like stayed with like Sururu, you know, and he is a poor guy, and I stayed with I
Sururu
moved
was
up with
broke
him.
too, man. Sururu was
Yeah, but
broke too
you
for
know,
him to support.
so but that's the thing, you know, like guys let me stay at their houses, guys let me, you know, that everybody kind of took care of me, you know, so I always felt like very connected. Could you say a few words about Sururu and what he meant for the team and for you?
Man, Sururu is another great friend of mine. You know, this time, unfortunately, I couldn't get to see him. He was really busy with other stuff there. I think there was like a short of staff at his gym, and he was all over the place. But man, like every time I go, Sururu is like I was like Chichi. You see Sururu every day, and a lot of people don't know, but Sururu was always my main training partner in Belo, because I mean I didn't have my teammates as I had before in Rio that I trained my whole life. Sururu was a little heavier than me, always tough, always smart, always hard to tap. So man, me and him trained like millions and millions of times, and he kept me in shape. And he actually learned a lot from me. Like our games are very similar, actually, still this day, you know, mine and Sururu's. And man, Sururu is another one that like man, like a really beautiful story, life story. You know, he came from humble beginnings, moved from another state to Belo. He was originally a capoeira teacher and a practitioner. And when he found out jiu-jitsu, man, like he completely fell in love. He's one of the best in business now. He was really successful in jiu-jitsu and MMA. He's really, a lot of people don't know, amazing MMA fighter, Sururu. I think he's like 8-1 or something like that, but amazing MMA fighter, won internationally and all that. And he never left capoeira also. He always kept his capoeira, even though it wasn't like the main thing. And nowadays he's a capoeira master. You know, it's kind of like being like a coral belt in jiu-jitsu. That's what he is in capoeira, man. You know, he has a beautiful family nowadays, beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. He has his own business. He actually graduated in physical education as well.
Amazing. Wow.
You know, and you remember Sururu, man. Sururu was pretty much a street kid. You know, that's the truth. You know, a street kid that made it, a street kid that got exposed to the ugly side of life in a lot of different ways, from the criminals, from criminals and from bad influences and all that. And he made it. Look at him now. So, man, he's an amazing guy. He's like a winner, a true winner in life, which is more important than any title, you know. So, really proud of him. Really love this guy.
And can you say a few words about Peposo? He was the first black belt.
Peposo, man, Peposo.
He had the mullet. I would say when I explain, it's like he had a mullet, and he was like an arm wrestling champion too.
Yes.
You know, and he would just warm up like this, right? Like,
man, the funniest thing in the world, you said his name.
Just texted you.
Just now, like literally now. I'm not even joking. Now, Paulo Peposo Rodriguez. I don't know if you can see it there. So anyway, like he's one of the toughest guys of our history.
Oh my God.
Besides being like an amazing judoka, he was really good in judo. He was like an arm wrestling champion, and of course great in jiu-jitsu. But man, like Peposo, I wouldn't say he is a monster. He's like one of those guys that are like a freak of nature, you know, strength wise and mental wise. He was just like a beast, you know. He was like a feared, right? He was feared by everybody in the training room, but he was feared in competition too, man. Like people would. He was actually one of the first guys that the Rio guys started to talk about. So, man, that Peposo guy there for Draculino,
he beat like Fabio Gugel. He beat all
these. He beat Fabio Gugel. He beat Aurelio, which is another really great guy. He beat a bunch of people. I don't remember. I don't recall right now. But he beat some of the best in the ultra heavyweight division. Man, with that style of like relentless takedown, almost impossible to take down. Guard passing, never tap. You offer the triangle, people go to the triangle. And then, and Peposo is a police officer. For you guys that don't know, he was always a police officer. He still is. I think he's about to be retired, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost sure. But he was always a police officer. He was the instructor of the police academy in Belo Horizonte for the civil police. In Brazil, we have the civil and the military police. He was from he's a civil policeman, and always taught class too, like you guys. Always was involved, and man, an amazing guy. He was the first one. Him and Alexandre were the first ones that I graduated to black belt. And I've actually it's a funny story too. Now remembering all that. His graduation was kind of like unique, because there was the World Championships in 2000, and Peposo was a brown. Peposo actually got the silver medal the year before. In in 98. 98, Peposo got silver medal on the brown belt. And then on 2000, he was like, we signed him up as a brown, like ultra heavyweight. And then Master Carlinhos called me, when they're doing the teams and trying to do the teams, they say, hey, Drac, we have another, like a good, not as good as Peposo, but another good brown belt, ultra heavyweight division, but we have nobody on the black belt. So I said, okay, so what do you think? Like, let's give him the black belt. Let's do it. Like, let's let him compete as a black belt. I say, yeah, master, whatever you say, let's do it. And I remember that I called him and he goes like, huh. No problem. I'll be there, and sure enough, he was there. It was his first worlds as a black belt. So yeah, he's like an amazing guy too. We talk a lot, about a bunch of things. And as you saw, he just texted me. So he's another old school, amazing guy there from back in the day.
What an amazing guy. Big heart, monster, but big heart. I remember.
Yeah.
He passed the guard and he put the belly in your face and he would.
That was hell.
And he loved me. He loved me because I wouldn't tap,
Yeah. Everybody would tap, but he wouldn't tap. Yeah. You would get like the little straw, right? The little straw.
And I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough to one time only get an armbar on him. And I think he really respected me because of those two things,
Yeah, for sure. He likes tough guys. He comes to kill you, but once you hold your own, he respects you.
He respected me. Yeah, he respected me because of those things.
And another funny thing too, like Peposo, why they call him Peposo? Because Peposo in Brazil, it was a brand of a teddy bear they used to have back in Brazil. Oh, wow. And Peposo looks like a bear, kind of, especially because of the mullet and the hair.
He is a bear. He
is a bear, and then they call him Peposo, which is like, I would call him a wild bear. Like he should be like a grizzly bear or something.
Yeah.
But they gave him the nickname of Peposo just to make fun because he was vicious, and they gave the nickname of Peposo, which was a tender teddy bear. So wow. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. And
talk about Alexandre too. I know.
Of course.
Situation now.
Yeah, Ben Alexandre was always
when Alexandre we won the first. Brasileiro, the team Brazilian.
Yeah, the team nationals. Yes,
the first team to ever do it, right? Outside of Rio.
Yes, we made history. You guys made history, and he was part of the team.
Yeah.
Alexandre was. Man, Alexandre came to me already a brown belt. So when he started to train me on the very first days, I remember that, and I always had a really good liking from the guy. And it was the same situation with Terrinha, another amazing competitor. Terrinha is another amazing competitor that came from us. He actually joined when he was a brown belt. Yeah. And man, I really like what I like about him and Terrinha. I mean, Terrinha was like one of the most accomplished competitors in the master divisions of all times. He still is. It's amazing.
27-time Pan American, right?
I don't know, like 20 times or something crazy. Like, I don't even know. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like 22. I don't know. Like weight and absolute is crazy. I don't even know. But anyway, like Alexandre wasn't as active as Terrinha on the competitive scene, but Alexandre was there back in the day. Yeah. And both of them were really humble enough to, when they joined, to really be keen to learn. They didn't come with an ego at all, even though we were just some white belts. Everybody was a white belt, a couple of blues, and they were brown. And man, they're having a tough time, as you remember. Really tough time.
For sure.
Man, like I remember Terrinha saying that, man, like I had a tough time with the white belts all the time, and they never quit. They never broke, They were there every single day training. They took a long time to get the black belt because I felt that they deserved me to give them the black belt when they really got on that level. You know, it was up to them to work hard, and they sure did, you know. And both of them has a really similar story. One of the sad things is that Alexandre had a really, really big problem on his brain a couple years ago. You know, they found a tumor, and we all got together and made like a benefit seminar to gather some funds for him. He got the surgery. There was a couple of challenges, like moral challenges after that, and but he got better. I'm actually I'm gonna reach out to him and see how he's doing. Because honestly, I don't talk to him for a minute, you know. But it's not like that here that I talk all the time. Right. But I'll reach out to him, and you know, he will never be forgotten as one of the first OGs there from GBBH. You know. Yeah.
And I remember him driving his motorcycle across the city to train with.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And like he was like also a policeman. Yeah, he was a policeman too.
He's gotten some of the best feedback from my gym from the guys. They really like the way he teaches and the way how he is, you know. He's a really good teacher too.
No, he's a really good teacher. He's a really good charismatic guy. He's a very he's a people's person, you know, like a very, very friendly but tough at the same time. He's a great guy. You know, he is an amazing guy.
I just want a couple more guys. Eric Vanderlei.
Eric, man. Eric was always, as you know, the monster of the school in a way that it was a combination of everything. Eric was kind of the perfect storm, you know, like one of the strongest guys I've ever saw in jiu-jitsu for jiu-jitsu strength.
Yeah.
He was extremely technical. He is extremely versatile in like all facets of the game. Amazing instructor, you know. You just saw the guys that came from him, they're all amazing guys that started jiu-jitsu with him. You know, Eric is like a monster, man. He was world champion in every belt, and actually, by the way, he was the first one of us to win the black belt as to win the world championship as a black belt, right? He was the first one of us to do that as an adult. And competed MMA too, a monster in MMA, man. Like, and on top of that, he just turned to be a dad now. He got a little kid.
Oh wow!
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. And he like out of the blue, he sent me a text with a picture, man, like a beautiful kid, man. His kid is like a huge kid, like with big blue eyes, you know, look like him. And he said, like, oh, master, look what happened in my life. Boom.
Wow.
You know, yeah. So, man, like, he was like such an amazing, also amazing guy to be with, you know. It is just like, you know, like one of the old school guys that actually made everything happen too. Man, my phone rang here, and then like my thing here. One second. Oh, here it is. Yes. So I couldn't see you, but yeah, and he's doing great. He's still teaching. He's one of those also like you guys. He always went to do the martial arts route, you know, and he teaches at Mangabeiras, Gracie Barra Mangabeiras, you know. Yeah, he's just like, he's doing great. Thank God. It's amazing.
First black belt world champion. Yeah.
Yes.
Important piece. Danilo, the guru.
Oh my gosh, man, like Danilo is another like really close friend of mine besides everything. And Danilo is arguably one of the most charismatic persons I've ever met in my life in all fields. It's impossible not to be around Danilo and to get a liking of him within seconds. And he doesn't force anything. He is the way he is.
Yeah.
He's like the most positive guy I ever met that only talks about negative stuff, believe it or not. Because it's kind of like an ironic, funny, realistic way that, man, like only him can do that. And besides all that, amazing technique, amazing jiu-jitsu guy, man. He got a lot of titles also. He made a history. You're just talking about the teams. titles, the national team's title. Remember that he beat like that guy from Alliance that was like the favorite by far. He just had, the guy just beat Soccer. Soccer's one of the best ever, like a black belt, like almost at the same time as me. And the guy just beat Soccer and the Brasileiros, man. And Danilo and him in the last match, Danilo went and smashed the guy.
I mean, it was a big deal, right? Because Leo Vieira, but they were on the team.
Oh, yeah.
And we beat Alliance. Draculino team beat Alliance.
We beat Alliance when Alliance was
the top. The
top, you know, like all those guys were together still with them, like Leo Vieira's brother, what's his name, Leandro or Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo.
This guy Gabriel Pensador, they had Tereré, right? Man, and the heavyweight Damian Maia, and like like all these people. So man,
and Danilo sealed the deal for us.
He sealed the deal there, man. And man, like Danilo when I
picked them up when he made the last the points of the basketball game where everybody.
It was. Man, like I have really cool pictures about that moment, man. Like you can see the happiness of everybody. Some pictures are actually iconic, man, because it shows like when the match was over and kind of like celebrating, people getting ready to invade
pick him up,
the area to lift him up. And then the faces of the crowd, man, everybody, man, you can see their veins screaming, like you know. Such an amazing moment, man. And Danilo, every time I'm with Danilo, like in Belo, I mean, he picks me up at the airport all the time. I don't even need to ask. He takes me everywhere. He pretty much clears his schedule just to be with me all the time. You know, he's like my brother, man. I love that guy to death. And I'm glad you brought him up too, because man, like he's an important, amazingly important piece of our history.
Yeah.
You know, he was the guy that bonded everybody together. He was a guy that used to solve conflicts too, because everybody liked the guy. And sometimes like the ego, or sometimes because of other stuff, people started not to get along. And he was always kind of like a link to make peace and all that.
Yeah.
Man, like he's amazing. He's unbelievable. He's definitely one of the most important in history there, you know?
Yeah. Urapuru,
man, he's actually here around the corner. We have an academy together
in Houston now,
in Pearland, Texas, which is in the Houston area. Man, Rapuru was always like a guy who is like known by his discipline. He was always very disciplined. He was always very dedicated, very tough. He came from the capoeira background. Him and Sururu were buddies. Right. He actually started to train jiu-jitsu because of Sururu. Sururu was telling him to train jiu-jitsu. He was very like, no, man, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm just going to do a little bit just to learn how to fight on the ground a little bit better, to be better in porrada, you know. But out of a sudden, he started to get a liking of the thing. And long story short, he now like a full-time jiu-jitsu. One of the toughest guys also, right? Like came from our school, man. He's has a very versatile game, super dangerous. He's like one of the most dangerous guys submission wise from all of us there, you know. Very, very also like a brave guy, man. He stepped into some challenges that few people would step. I remember that he took up MMA fight. It will be his first against Renato Babalu, and Babalu was from the Luta Livre guys, from Ruas Vale Tudo guys. Man, he stepped in to fight him way lighter with a 4 days notice, or I don't know, a week notice, I don't recall. But man, and they fought 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, Babalu won by decision, but man, like who does that?
Yeah.
You know, he fought one time, also 3 times in one night in an MMA event in Juiz de Fora, Brazil, and he actually won. He won 3 fights in a night, you know. Very, very tough and brave guy. He has an amazing family now. His wife, Mariana, she's like, she used to be a model. She still models a little bit, but she will be the furthest people to train jiu-jitsu. But when they moved to America, she would sit because Urapuru stayed 1 year teaching at my school before he opened the other one, because, you know, there was a couple of things that got delayed. She would just sit there and watch the class all the time. And I felt bad for her, you know? So I told him, say, hey, why don't you train? You know, we get the gi for you. You should train. And she goes like, oh, I don't think Marcelo likes me too much to train. I said, no, don't worry about it. I'll talk to him. And I talked to Marcelo. I said, okay, whatever. Man, she's a beast now.
Yeah.
She's a beast. She's like multiple times like a world and Pan Am champions in the Masters division. She goes toe to toes with the adults. She wins the open tournaments and she does super fights all the time. She's a yoga teacher too. She's my yoga instructor. I train yoga with her. And man, like the family now also like another family that, you know, like we, thanks to everything, lives and supports and does everything through jiu-jitsu, through martial arts, you know. So they're happily living here close by, fully dedicated to the school. The school is doing great. So yeah, Irapuru is an amazing also and a very important part. He actually, another thing I forgot to say, he took over when I left. Right? When I left to America in 2008, it's very important to remember that he was the one, and he was the one that was meant to be by the time. It's normal when I left that there will be a little bit of a power struggle, right? Like I knew that this would happen. The old school guys would maybe try to take over. Man, I talked to a lot of people and I came in the conclusion that he would be, you know, like the right guy to be there at the moment. And then everything played out after, you know. There was a lot of conflicts, it happens, you know, but we put it all behind between all the parties involved. But everything worked out well. When we look at GBBH now. Now the right people are there because they got ready during all these times to be where they're at right now. And nowadays we have we couldn't have better people there in GBBH, which is Sergio Benini, Serginho, Claudio Caloquinha, and Wilson Bolão, you know, as our, let's say, our mentor and manager and administrator. Man, like everything works great. It's four of us. Everybody has a very important role. Me as the advisor and the guy who created everything and set the pace. Bolão as the administrator, the business guy. They came and put new blood and put new perspective. Serginho as the guy who's like the soul of the school. He's there every single day from early morning to late at night, coordinating everything. He plays on, like we say in Brazil, in the soccer field. He plays on the 11 positions of the soccer field. And Caloquinha, man, Caloquinha is the face of the school related to being an old school guy, to be tough, to be a champion, you know, to be brave and to be honest. So, and teaching the classes, being kind of like the chief instructor, so per se, man, it works perfectly, the four of us. I'm really glad that this chemistry happened, you know.
And the legacy continues after all these years.
Yeah. Thank God. Thank God.
You know, you have all these world champion, Eric Vanderlei, black belt, like, you know, Valiges and Hamil, Hamula Bahal, Felipe Progrise, Lucas Valencia now in Houston.
Yeah, Andres Samuel. That's tons of them.
So many,
you know, tons of them.
And I don't mean to forget anybody or mention.
Yeah, we always forget, guys.
I'm sorry. You know, like Shanji, who's a Porquinho who's with me.
Porquinho, man, Gazi, also like an important guy, Leozão, Filipão, Mr. Bean, Ivanzinho, man, so many people, you know, like so many people that were pivotal for everything that went down, you know, like it's just like amazing. You know, we talked about a lot of them, but I know some people would be, don't get mad, guys, because it's very hard to remember everything. It was too many people, but everyone from Gracie by BH, they were there and they are there. Every single one of you guys are important and pivotal and part of the family. Everyone in a different way, but everybody has a very important and vital, I would say, part in everything that goes down and went down. So I'm really thankful to all of you guys, and I'm proud of all of you.
25 years, one word, if you have one word to summarize the 25 years.
Gratitude to everything. Gratitude to our God, gratitude to my family that supported me unconditionally to be able to do what I love. Gratitude to my master, Carlos Gracie Jr., to have believed in me back in the day for us to start to do the project of expanding Gracie Barra out of the state of Rio de Janeiro. GBBH was the first official school out of the city of Rio de Janeiro. Gratitude to all my training partners and teammates from back in the day, Jiu-Jitsu that made me who I am. Gratitude for you guys, for all my students all over the world that also believed in our way of doing things, believe in our vision, and gratitude also to Jiu-Jitsu, man, you know, because we do the best thing we can possibly do. We were born to do that, every single one of us. It's our call, you know, and without Jiu-Jitsu, this wouldn't happen. So I would say gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. So speaking of gratitude, thank you for, you know, changing my life and getting me on the right path. Your example, you know, I can't even say it in any words, but like, I think my way is to like live this way, right? Live this way, continue this way, professionalism, doing the right things, not just creating good guys on the mat, but in life, right? Champions in life.
For sure. That's the most important thing, man. Titles are great, but titles come and go. You're on the pick one time, and then all of a sudden they're not anymore. But what comes behind that is the most important thing, you know.
Well, thank you for everything. Thank you for sitting down and talking about it. You know, it was a big week.
It's a pleasure, brother. It's a pleasure. I'm glad that you also did that, because this will be forever registered. You know, sometimes we don't think about it, but this story has to be told, and I don't think about a better guy to do that than you. You know, you were there. You know, so everything that we talked here were lived by us. So it's great.
Love you, Master. Love you. Thank you
too,
for
brother.
Everything, and see you soon. I hope.
You too, brother. See you soon. Take care.